Okay, can everybody hear me? Okay, because I had a problem last night and it didn't tape. So if you don't hear me, that's amazing. Okay. Well, yesterday we talked all about the Mon. There's one last thing I didn't tell you about the Mon. And Hashem tells Moshe, tell Aaron to take some Mon, even though you're not supposed to keep any Mon for another day. He says like this, take some Mon and put it in a little jug and stuff it up with Mon. And I want you to put it in where the Mishkan will be. It's not yet there. And right next to the holy Aaron, the holy ark in the holiest of holies. So it'll be a reminder of this great miracle. Now we know normally the Mon would melt the next day, but this was a miracle. And it stayed in the Beis Hamikdash until the times it was destroyed. Now, why did Hashem want to do this? Hashem's really smart. Hashem knows the future. And let me tell you what happened hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years later when we had the first Beis Hamikdash. The Navi Yirmiyahu was very sad with the Jewish people because, you know, all Jewish people are supposed to learn a lot of Torah. That's our job, to learn Torah. And the Jewish people in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, when Yirmiyahu was the prophet, was the Navi, they weren't learning Torah. So Yirmiyahu said, you know, you're making a big mistake. You're supposed to learn Torah. So what did the Jewish people say? Oh, we can't learn Torah. Why not? Because we're busy having to go to work. Do you know how hard it is to go to work? You have to get up early in the morning. Let's say you're a farmer. Are any of you a farmer? Guess you don't know what it's like to be a farmer. And when the Jews lived in Israel, they were almost all farmers. You got to get up really early in the morning before the sun comes up. And all the animals got to be fed. They're hungry. And you feed all the animals, but then all the animals, they make doo-doo all over the farm, and you got to clean it up. You can't just let the doo-doo pile up. You ever see a horse go on a toilet? I didn't. They just, they plop it all over the place. You got to take the doo-doo. You got a lot of animals. There's a lot of doo-doo, and they have to push it away. That takes a long time. And then you got to work on the farm. You got to plant. You got all kinds of work. It takes a long time. And, they didn't have washing machines like you do. If your mother tells you, can you help me with the wash? What do you just toss it in the machine? The machine does all the work. You guys complain, I got to put it in the machine. It's so hard. I got to put it in the machine. I got to take it out of the machine. Well, in the olden days, you got to go to the river. You got to take the clothes in the river with the rocks, get them wet, and you have to bang with the rock, scrub till they were clean. Each and every individual piece of clothing. Everything took a long time. They said, Rabbi, we don't have time to learn Torah. We got to work. We have to make a living. So Yirmiyahu said, really? You think that's a good excuse? Then he went into the Beis Hamikdash. He went into the holies of holies. He went and took that little jar that still had the Mon from hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And he took it out and said, you know what this is? This is the Mon. And your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, when they were in the desert, all they did was learn Torah and do mitzvahs all day long, and Hashem took care of them. Hashem brought Mon, and they had what to eat. So what does that teach you? That, you know what? If you do what Hashem wants, Hashem will take care of you. It's your duty to study Torah. And you should know Hashem has many ways to provide you with money. And it's your choice. Do you want to spend your whole day working hard to make the money? Or you try to have Hashem help you? No, Hashem can help you. Now so then the people said, oh, I guess we should learn a little Torah. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that everybody can learn Torah all day long, because and the money comes from Shemayim, but it depends how much you believe in Hashem. If you really believe in Hashem, those things can happen. But you got to be honest. You can't fool yourself. You got to be a tzaddik to learn Torah. And that's what you got to know. That one day you boys and girls are going to grow up and you're all going to work. But you got to know, even if you're working, you can't work all day. And I'm sure you all have parents that they work, but they also study Torah. You got to find a time to learn Torah. And that's what the Mun is teaching us. That at the end of the day, Hashem takes care of you. You're going to say, well, no, it's because I work very hard. I work so hard, I make all the money. That's a joke. Ha, 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 ha. You think you're making the money. But who gives you the strength? Who gives you the strength to be able to make the money? Who? Who gives you the strength? What if you want to get up one day and you can't get up? And only with Hashem are you able to get up. That's how you make the money. Okay, that is that little part. But today I want to do something a little different than the Parsha. I am sorry. We're going to make a little change today. As much as I love looking at the Parsha, and we have a little bit more to go. But we're going to save that for tomorrow. Right now, we're going to talk about one of my favorite holidays, and that is Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat. Not Tu B'Shvat. It doesn't mean two Shvats. But Tu is the letter Tes and the letter Vav. The letter Tes is 9. The letter Vav is 6. The 15th day of Shvat is today. And it's a very special holiday. And I know you're not in school and you're not able to celebrate that holiday today. But I want to tell you about the holiday and what it's all about. It's all about the Rosh Hashanah. Today is Rosh Hashanah. Did anybody tell you today is Rosh Hashanah? It's Rosh Hashanah. It's Rosh Hashanah for the trees. Which means that today Hashem decides how much fruits the trees are going to produce. And that comes from rain. In Eretz Yisrael, not in Toronto. Remember, the place to live in Israel. In Eretz Yisrael, it's been raining. In the winter, it rains. It's been raining and raining. And up to today is the rain that will decide how much rain came. That decides how good the fruits are going to be for the next year. Whatever starts raining tomorrow is going to be for the year afterwards, not for this year. So we all have a custom, I hope you're doing this, to eat fruits. Last night, we had a Seder. It was like a real Seder with wine and fruits and the special fruits of Eretz Yisrael. I see Ellie's hand is up. Ellie, what would you like to say? Let's hope your sound works today.
I bought a coconut.
You had a coconut. Whoa, that's an interesting thing. That's good. That's good. Well, you can have all yummy fruits that taste so amazing, all in honor of Tu B'Shvat.
Cool.
Okay, good. So now I want to tell you a little bit about Tu B'Shvat, and I hope you're really smart. It's only for smart kids will understand this, but I think you're all smart and you'll figure this out. The Gemara tells us a fascinating story about a great tzaddik. His name was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, a big tzaddik. And Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he knew everything. He was a Talmud Chacham. There wasn't anything in Torah he didn't know. He knew everything in Torah. But not only did he know everything in Torah, he knew other things. And he even knew the things that palm trees each other. He knew the language of the palm trees. He put his ear next to a palm tree. Ooh, I hear what the palm tree is saying. Oh, that's very important. Now you try that. Go out the backyard, put your ear next to the tree and tell me what you hear. You know what you're going to hear? Nothing. Has anybody got a fruit tree in their backyard? Anybody got a fruit tree? Okay, you go today, if your mommy lets you, only if your mommy lets you. Go over to the fruit tree. Let's pretend this is the tree. I'll put your ear over there. Do you hear anything? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe you're a big tzaddik. Maybe you'll hear something. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, he would hear what the trees were saying. And the question is, what were the trees saying? So, the Torah says that a person, any one of you persons here, is like a tree in the field. Did you ever hear that? A boy and a girl is like a tree. That's why we're not allowed to chop down trees that give fruit for no reason. Because it's like you're chopping down a person. Now, I'm trying to figure out, how is a person just like a tree? Do you think you're a tree, Akiva? Hillel, do you think you're a tree? Adina, do you think you're a tree? You don't. No, I'm not a tree. A tree stuck in the ground. I can move around. But Hashem says no. Hashem says we're all trees. Well, now we got to think, how am I a tree? So let me explain to you. Let's see if you can understand this. A tree has three main parts. There's one part you cannot see it all. Do you know what part that is? A tree has a lot of it, and you cannot see it at all. Tehila, what is it?
It's roots.
The roots. Roots. You take a little seed, you put it into the ground. And you know what happens to that seed? What happens to that seed? The seed falls apart. It breaks. It's destroyed. It's finished. And then a big miracle happens. It's stuck in the ground, but the ground has lots of yummy vitamins. And the vitamins go into this broken seed, and all of a sudden it starts to make a couple roots. That's the stuff the grounds, and more roots and more roots. And then one day, it goes through the ground. The first little part of the tree goes through the ground. But what's going on under the ground, you don't see any of it. The roots are going crazy all around, millions of roots. And you don't even see it. The only time you see it if there's like a really big hurricane, and a hurricane blows a tree out of the ground, and you'll see all the roots. Wow, the roots were going so far. Do you have a tree in your backyard? If you see a tree in your backyard, the most important part of the tree, you don't see. Hey, that's a rhyme. The most important part of the tree, you do not see. It's the roots. You know why? Because even though the tree grows afterwards, but if the roots are big and strong, then when the wind blows, the tree is not going to fall. If the roots are not so good, the wind will blow the tree away. So the first part of a tree is his roots. You don't see the roots at all, but it's so important. Without roots, you have no tree. Now, the next part, we all know what it is. That's the part you see. That's the tree. The trunk, the tree goes up. Whoa, that's a beautiful tree. That's the second part. And it grows and it grows. And you know what? Every year, you know what happens to a tree on its birthday? It gets fatter. Did you know that? A ring goes around it, gets a little fatter. Sometimes grown-ups also, every year, they get a little fatter. But no, a tree gets fatter. Tree gets fatter. Yes, it grows fatter. And it grows tall and big and strong. It's amazing, that tree. And that's the main thing. That's what you really see the most of. When you look at a tree, what do you see? Wow, I see a big tree. Right? That's called in Hebrew the geza. The geza. That's the main tree. And then, of course, the last part is the fruits. the fruits, that's the whole point of having a tree. You have an apple tree, you have fruits. That's why you planted the tree, so you could have fruits. And then inside the fruits are little seeds, and those seeds make new trees. You want new trees? Good. Now the question is, how is a Jewish boy just like a tree? Well, you must have roots, you must have a trunk, you must have fruits. So let me look. I'm looking at all of you, and I don't see any roots coming out of your legs. You guys don't look like a trunk. Moshe, Michalowicz does not look like a trunk of a tree. And I don't see fruits growing out of Hillel's ears. Let me check. Maybe Shiriel has a fruit in her ear. No fruits coming out of her ears. Ellie, no fruits coming out of Ellie's nose. No fruits. So how are we like a tree? Yes, Ariella thinks she knows. Let's see.
From learning Torah.
Well, learning Torah, that's a good thing, but we got to know how that fits in. Gotta know that.
From generations back. Like
Okay, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. But let's make this a little clearer. Oh, I see someone's got a tree in the background. Looks very nice. Here's the point. What is your roots? You have roots. And those roots are going to make sure that no matter what winds blow, you won't fly away. You know what your roots are? Listen carefully. Your roots are your emunah. Your belief in Hashem. Now, raise your hand if you believe in Hashem. Now, if Hashem would tell you, let me ask you, if Hashem would tell you to jump into the lake, would you jump into the lake? Yeah, just like the Jews jumped into the Yossi. If you knew it was Hashem and Hashem told you to jump, you jumped in the lake. You believe in Hashem. Emunah is the root. That's what makes you grow into a big, strong Jewish boy and girl. Because you know what the main part of your tree is? Torah, mitzvahs, and good deeds. That's how we grow. We grow up through Torah, mitzvahs, and good deeds. You know, I'd appreciate it if all the boys and girls don't put pictures over their faces and things like that, because it's very distracting. When we're learning Torah, we should be focused on listening to the Torah and not playing on the computer. Okay? So afterwards, you can play all you like. So that's the tree, our tree. You want to grow up to be a big tree? Learn a lot of Torah. Do a lot of mitzvahs. Do a lot of chesed. Now you're a tree. But you know what? I know some boys and girls who don't learn Torah, don't do mitzvahs, and they're not nice. You know why? Because they don't have emunah. They don't really believe in Hashem. They don't have good roots. Their roots aren't good. If you have bad roots, the tree doesn't grow good. So therefore, you have to have good roots. And guess who helps you with your roots? You know who helps you with your roots? Your parents. Your parents. When you see your parents have emunah, then you get emunah. And everybody today should go to your parents and give them a big hug and a kiss and say, thank you so much for giving me roots. Without you, I wouldn't have any roots. So if you have lots of emunah, you trust Hashem, then you're going to get up every morning like a lion and do mitzvahs and daven and learn and do kindness, even when it's hard. Even when it's hard, but you have emunah in Hashem. And then comes the last part. You know what the last part is? Fruits. Fruits. Fruits mean you're helping other people. What's an apple tree all about? It helps other people. Helps other people. So you got to help other people. How do you help other people? Do kindness to other people. Teach other people Torah. And one day, when you're going to be big, you know what's going to happen? Something amazing. You're going to have little kinderlach. You're going to have little boys and girls. And that's going to be your fruits that comes from the seeds. And that's what it means that a person is like a tree. You're all like a tree. Right now, you're getting your roots. And hopefully you're going to have lots more roots. More emunah and Hashem. Right now, you guys are you're little in size, but you're going to get bigger in size. You're also little in mitzvahs, you're going to get bigger in mitzvahs. That's going to be your trunk. And then you're going to do such beautiful things that other people will enjoy you, like the fruits and the seeds. That's what makes you. So now, today, when you're going to eat a fruit, you think about that fruit. And now we're going to tell you an interesting story about emunah, which is very, very important. It's a story, but a different kind of a story. And let me tell you what it's about. The story of the apple. Now, I want to know, who likes apples? You know, there's a saying in the non-Jewish world. I don't know if you heard it. It says, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And what does that mean? Well, it means if you eat healthy food every day, you're going to be healthy. But I think there's a much deeper understanding. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Listen carefully. And this is the story. You know, I said Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he couldn't hear the story. He puts his ear next to the tree. Woo! Woo, look what I heard today. Whoa! That's an amazing story. Whoa! You're going to put your ear next to the tree. Maybe you'll hear it. Maybe you'll hear it. Do you know there's some foolish people in the world who don't believe in Hashem? Can you imagine? Can you imagine there's people in the world that don't believe in Hashem? Do you know that? As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people in the world who don't believe in Hashem. And sometimes they say, if there's a God, prove it to me. Prove it to me. Okay, can any of you boys and girls prove that there's Hashem in the world? Well, now I'm going to teach you how. In 5 minutes, you're going to be able to prove it. You know what you're going to tell them? Put your ear next to the tree. You're going to hear something. Now, I hope you're smart enough to understand. It's a little tricky, but if you're smart, you'll get it. Now, have you ever, where do apples come from? Well, some people say apples come from Sobeys. Some people say apples come from No Frills. Some people say apples come from Sue's. But we know that apples grow from your toes. Oh, they don't grow from your toes. Oh no, we apples grow from the apples grow from the lake. Oh, the apples grow from a tree. Now, you ever seen an apple tree in your life? You ever seen an apple tree? Really? Okay, now, you should know of some interesting things about an apple tree. The apple trees talk, but you have to listen very carefully. When an apple tree in the beginning of the spring begins to get little apples, fruits, what color is a fruit when it's not ripe? It's one color, every fruit in the whole world. Every fruit in the whole world is the same color. What is that color, Ariella? Green. Doesn't matter what, they're all green. Do you ever wonder why they're all green? I guess just an accident. Did you ever notice, did you ever go to an apple tree and see that the apples fall off? Yeah. When do they fall off? Only when the apple is ripe. Did you ever notice that? Did you ever see apples falling off when they're not even close to being ready? When an apple is green, you know why an apple is green when it's not ready? A banana is green when it's not ready? Because the leaves are all green. And Hashem is saying, if the fruit is not ready, it should hide behind the leaves. So nobody should look at you. Nobody should look at you because it's too early to eat the apple. Any fruit. If you eat it too early, it's not good for you. So they're all green, you know why? Because they're hiding under the leaf. Don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. That's what they're saying. In the spring, you're going to put your ear next to the apple tree and you see little apples hiding under the green leaves. They're saying, don't touch, it's not time. And then also when they get ready, the fruits look a beautiful red, a banana, a beautiful yellow, an orange, a beautiful orange. They all looked green before. Now they have these amazing colors. And they go, oh, they look so good. They look so good. But you know, there's another problem. You ever think about it? When the trees apples are not ready, you can't reach them because they're very high up. You know why? Because it's too early to eat them. So what happens when they're ready? Hashem doesn't want you to have to bother to climb the tree. When it's ready, the tree falls down. So you could eat it. And the tree, you put your ear next to the tree. The tree says, you know what? Now it's time to eat me. Because now they're falling down. Now's a good time to eat the apples. Now, if you don't believe in Hashem, is that such a coincidence? Or a coincidence? Something happens, doesn't make any sense. How come every fruit in the world that's not ripe is green? How come every fruit that's not ripe, you can't get to it yet? But then when it's ready to eat, they all look nice looking colors. They look beautiful. And they fall down, so it's so easy for you to eat them. Yes, Akiva, what's your hand up for?
That they would, that if they fall, they are like so high and they're green to show that they're not ripe and that you're not meant to eat them yet.
That's right. But who does that? Is it an accident or is it Hashem? Is it an accident that every not ripe? How come not ripe things are blue, green, or yellow? Because Hashem wants them to hide under the leaves. Not time. The trees are talking. Don't eat me. But then when they fall down, they're making the sound. Come on, enjoy it. Now you go to an apple. I want to ask you one more question. Have you ever taken a whole apple, the whole thing, and eaten it bite by bite and eat the whole apple completely? Has anybody ever done that? Think. The whole apple, the entire apple.
Even with the seeds?
Everything. No, why not? Because when you go to the middle, there's these seeds. And there's a little kind of plastic shape that holds the seeds. You know what I'm talking about? And if you want to eat that part, it's going to get stuck in your teeth, get stuck in your throat. Yucky. What do you do with it? Before they had green bins and composting. You were a nice kid on the farm. An apple fell down. You ate the apple right next to the tree. You ate it up. You came to the seeds, and what'd you do with them?
Plant them.
Spit them out? Why? Couldn't Hashem have made it you could eat the whole apple? You know why? Because you know what's in those seeds? In every little seed is a big tree. And when you take the apple and you're just finished and all that's left is the core and you throw it on the ground, after a few weeks, the apple falls apart. The seed goes in the ground and makes another seed. You know what that's like? You know what it's like? Imagine, let's say today you have some cereal and you finish the cereal and you're at the bottom and at the bottom there's a coupon. And the coupon says, hooray, you're the winner. You get a free box of cereal. Ha, you'd like that, eh? So when you finish the apple, you know what you get? It's a coupon. It says here, the seeds, throw them out. You know why? Because you're going to get a new tree one day. So you know what the trees are telling you? The trees are telling you, do you see how smart Hashem is? Hashem made trees. Can you imagine what happened if trees would fall when they're not ready? Can you imagine that if tree looked so yummy, the fruit looked so yummy when it wasn't ready to eat? Can you imagine if this apple had no seeds? We couldn't make new trees. And that is the message of Emunah, believing in Hashem. You listen to the tree is screaming. It's screaming, Hashem made me. But it talks in a very different language. It's a language that only your heart can hear, not your ears. Your heart hears, wow, look how amazing Hashem is. Hashem made the apples so perfect that it's only when it's ready to eat. So today, boys and girls, when you're going to take a fruit, you're going to do a big mitzvah. You know what you're going to do? You're going to make a bracha, because that bracha is not just like you go to the store. If you want to buy something, you have to pay money for it. A bracha is a gift that you can tell the whole world, I believe in Hashem. And you can say, little apple, before I eat you, I say, boy, Baruch Hashem. Hashem was the Melech HaOlam, the king of the whole world. He was so smart to make the apple in such a way that I could enjoy it in the best way possible. And you make special kavanah, borei, pri, ha'etz. Hashem created the fruit of the tree. And now you're going to have a munah. And then what's going to happen? You're going to grow into a big tree. Because you know what? Hashem made us just like the tree. And the more emunah we have, the more brachas you make, the more mitzvahs you do, the more fruits you give for everybody else. So Hashem should all bless you today on Tu B'Shvat, that you're going to make a bracha on the fruits and hear and go to your tree. And now in the winter, the tree is also talking. He's saying, you know, I know it's winter and it looks like I don't have anything, but I believe that Hashem will let me have fruits by the end of the summer. And it's davening to Hashem. Hashem, help me get some fruits. And therefore, even if you're in the winter and sometimes you're not doing so good, you have to have Emunah Hashem's going to make it better. Okay, we're stopping. Tomorrow we're going to finish the war with Amalek. Tomorrow's a real war. And we're going to show you who wins the war with Amalek. And that's going to be the finishing touch for tomorrow. Have a wonderful Tu B'Shvat. And we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.